Hi guys, it's James from Meatster and I am back with another beer review. And as usual, it's a no or low alcohol beer, and today it's actually non-alcoholic, which is just as well because I'm about to film a steak video straight after this, so I need my wits about me. Today's one is a little bit late because I probably should have done this right at the beginning, sort of 3 months ago, and that's because today I have Big Drop Brewing Co.'s Winter Ale, and we are now, April the 22nd. Oh well. So, non-alcoholic, Big Drop Brewing Co., if you don't know, only do non-alcoholic beers, and they do them really, really well. This is, I don't know if it's a limited edition one, but it's not their most popular beer, of course. That will probably be their stout and their IPA. But when I saw this, I picked up about 6 of them. I was intrigued. This is the last one, and I wanted to finish it before it's really summer and it'll be out of date before next winter. So, if you haven't seen one of these reviews before, I now do 5 criteria, and that is aroma, flavour, mouthfeel, finish, and drinkability, which in quite a few cases can actually bring up the score of a beer that isn't absolutely packed with flavour or aroma, but sometimes you want something more refreshing or easy to drink. Well, let's see what this one's like. It's certainly a dark coloured beer. I think it's probably based on their brown ale, which has a lot of similar characteristics apart from the sort of winter bit, which we'll get to in a second. So let's go for the aroma. Well, it's full of that heady smell of sort of Christmas and winter, sweet spices and mince pie and things like that. So you can smell the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the clove. I think there's one other spice in here, which is ginger. So altogether you do get a lot of that spice, and it's quite rich and it's bold and it smells cozy and like you want to be in front of a fireplace. I'm going to give that 8 out of 10. Fantastic aroma. All right, let's go for the flavour. Cheers. Now, first thing to say is that the concentration of the flavour isn't as bold and big as the aroma is. That's often the way. But it's important to see if all those aroma characteristics actually follow through into the flavour, which makes it much more satisfying. And in this case, it really does do that quite well. So you definitely start with a gingerbread and ginger powder flavour, which is actually very nice. And it's quite refreshing in a way. And then it's definitely more cinnamon, really sweet cinnamon. Like a dusting of cinnamon on honey, which is, delicious, and it's already got some complexity here. The clove and the nutmeg are more in the background, which is a good thing, I think, because they're obviously quite strong flavours, and altogether it marries really, really well. But there's not a lot else going on, and there's not a lot of depth to the flavour, even though it's quite a bright and complex flavour. So I'm going to give this 7 out of 10, which is actually pretty good. Now onto mouthfeel. This is very cold, and I feel like it's been sitting in the fridge for 3 months. It's actually lost a little bit of something. I know that when I first had it, the flavour was more bold and concentrated. So the mouthfeel, it also seems to have lost something a little bit. It's more watery. So I will use some of my memories and also what I've got here. It's not a massive, rich, coating mouthfeel, which I felt like it was when I first had it. So it's sort of plus and minuses on both sides. It was very rich before, and I didn't feel like I could drink too much of it. Now it's got more crispness to it, and whatever sugariness was there maybe has fallen away slightly, if that's possible, but it feels like it. It's not so viscous, also being that it's incredibly cold straight out of the fridge. It's pleasing. It's not too rich. It's got an element of refreshing sort of zing to it in the mouthfeel. I'm going to give that 7 out of 10. Very pleasurable. Now the finish. I'd say the sweet spices do linger on for a good several seconds, but some of that is bitterness, which again is not a terrible thing. The finish is a reasonable length. I'm going to give this 7.5 out of 10. Now perhaps it will be drinkability where it falls apart on this one. I could see myself having 1, maybe 2, and it would go quite well with wintry foods actually, stews and things like that that are quite rich, and the spiciness will add to it. Or you could have it with mince pie, or you could just sit in front of the fireplace and enjoy it. It might even work well with a cigar, but I couldn't drink loads of it. It's a strong flavour, and it's quite rich, so I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. Alright guys, this is Big Drop Brewing Co.'s Winter Ale. I think it's been a resounding success with this beer actually, and I hope they continue to do it next year. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, if you like this sort of content, please think about subscribing to the channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Thanks for watching. Cheers.